Hey, what's up guys, and welcome to a brand new Blackout video. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about how Overwatch has not really been receiving consistent updates, how this has been affecting the community, and a couple reasons why I think Blizzard is fairly capable of putting out decent updates at a fair table, rather than these sporadic updates over the course of several years, especially since some of their other games have been receiving consistent updates, community streams, all these different things that really show support for the community, not just the game itself. But anyway, we're going to get into the video, but I want to thank you so much guys for subscribing, liking, commenting, and just enjoying all the videos that I have been creating, and following me on Twitch, all my social media platforms. You guys have just been absolutely amazing, and I appreciate your support so very much. So like I said before, if you guys do enjoy these videos, definitely comment, like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for future Overwatch videos. Anyway guys, let's go ahead and get into the video.
I got lost in the walls and I had life. Couldn't breathe, couldn't stop, couldn't red lights. Why this feed no feel like my whole life? I got no time, feel like I got no time.
So as you guys know, Blizzard has not had the best track record of consistently updating the Overwatch community for new information about Overwatch 2. They have of course made announcements, but mainly this has been consistent with aligning at BlizzCon or these big events where you want to have a reason to draw people in. But outside of BlizzCon, Blizzard has kind of really just been, I don't know man, it's not really been that consistent. It hasn't really been what we were expecting when they were announcing Overwatch 2. Especially when it's not essentially a whole brand new title. It's supposed to be a mainline update to the original base game. And I think that's the worst part about it, is because it's a more or less a full update to the original Overwatch, you would think it'd be something where we would be getting a little bit more consistent updates, a little bit more feedback from devs, more testing to try out the game, to get our input on this huge update to the original Overwatch. Fortunately, that isn't really the case. Blizzard is really keeping up a lot of these secretive habits that they've kind of held for a pretty long period of time over the course of the years as this huge game company. But we've noticed a change with Blizzard in some of their other franchises or titles. I think the strongest example of this would be Diablo 4. If you guys have never played Diablo at all, pretty much it's an action RPG that has a long history with Blizzard. It's one of their original titles. And one thing I did notice with Diablo 4 is they've made it a thing. They've made it a part of their mission to put out these quarterly updates for Diablo 4 about the progression of the game, the progression of the world, the progression of the progression system, the progression of the characters, the progression of how they're working on the story. Diablo 4 is probably the most modern title from Blizzard to receive this much like updating and community feedback and chances for the community to really get their input on the game, because it's something that they actually really do care about. It's something that they have other titles to compare themselves to, and they know that it's a market where it's a little bit more competitive in the action RPG market. I think that's the sad thing, is because you're in the hero shooter market, it's pretty saturated in itself, and if Blizzard weren't the company that they were, they would not be able to get away with not updating the community or updating their community in a more consistent, viable way in 2022. And I want you guys to know, this is absolutely not to down Overwatch 2. This is actually just calling out Blizzard for them to do more in the future. Like, this cannot continue to be a thing. You cannot be secretive with a game that so many players are going to get their hands on, because just because you're testing in a very controlled environment doesn't mean that it's going to pan out the way that you think that it is once a huge amount of players get their hands on the game. And then you get this surge of actual testing from real players, and then you see there are tons of issues with the game. Why I've always encouraged developers to really get interactive with their community, really provide updates, because the more connected the community feels, the more everybody gets their say, the more that you get a better game. Like, the chances of you getting a better game is just incrementally or exponentially higher than if you were to not stay in touch with your community. It's a really big thing, and I think a lot of the developers just don't do it enough. I think the ones that do end up fairly more successful than the companies like EA. I mean, Battlefield is probably the best example of that. Like I said before, I feel fairly positive about the future of Overwatch. I do believe it's going to go on to be a very successful update and sequel to the original title or the original base game, but I do feel that this can't keep going on forever. The community is very irritated at this point, and fairly. I think they have every right to be understandably upset with the fact that they have not been receiving the amount of updates that they would be expecting to receive, especially from the modern current Blizzard at this point with everything that's happened so far. So I do believe and I do trust the team that is working on Overwatch 2 that they are going to make it such a great game, but also in 2022 we need to change these habits of not updating the community on the progression of the game. It's not going to slide anymore. It's not okay. And Blizzard, you need to do a little bit more. You have to at this point. It has to happen. It's just can't not be a thing in 2022. Now, I do want to state they did have that creator summit a while ago, but they made all the creators that were there sign NDAs, and they were super excited about the future of Overwatch and stuff. I understand a lot of companies do this as well, where they invite creators to test out their game and stuff, and they make them sign NDAs. But Blizzard's a little bit different because those companies that do that outside of Blizzard already keep the community pretty updated. So the fact that you just sign an NDA and you try to draw up some hype, but then nobody can talk about it, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Whatever you do have to show in the future timeline or in some future event, at least make it viable to be posted to the community. Because regardless, if you have players like testing out things that are they can't talk about, then it's almost as pointless as just bringing the creators there anyway, because it's their job to talk about what they saw. So it's like, it's so backwards. It just doesn't make any sense. Like, to me personally, like from a marketing standpoint, it's just insane. But anyway, guys, if you did enjoy this video, definitely comment, tell me your thoughts. I really want to hear your thoughts on the whole strategy and practices of Blizzard and how they market and how they keep their community updated and stuff like that. But yeah, just tell me your thoughts. Turn on notifications for future videos. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. And as always, guys, my name is Blackout, and till next time.
Yo, thank you, man. Appreciate it, guys. Have a good day.
Tell me that's all in my mind. I ain't never did shit to nobody. Try my best.